If you love the Eagles, you know this team never sleeps. Even when they're winning, even when things look steady, the front office is always cooking something behind the scenes. And here we go again. Another signature move from Howie Roseman, one that shows exactly why the defending champions stay one step ahead of everybody else. The Eagles have officially made a trade, sending wide receiver John Mechie and a future late-round pick swap to the New York Jets in exchange for cornerback Michael Carter II. At first glance, it might look like a small deal, but when you dig deeper, it's classic Eagles, smart, strategic, and built around long-term value. Now, let's break this down, because there's a lot going on here. The Eagles are getting a really talented slot corner, a guy they actually know well from their scouting days. And in return, they're moving on from a receiver who wasn't being used much this season. John Mechie had flashes of potential, no doubt about that, but he was buried on the depth chart behind guys like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Darius Cooper, who has been earning more and more reps. Mechie just didn't have a path to significant playing time in this offense. And when that happens on a team loaded with weapons, it's better to get value somewhere else, especially on the defensive side of the ball. What's wild here is how much this move says about Philly's reputation around the league. When you're the defending Super Bowl champs, sitting at 6 wins and 2 losses, with back-to-back statement victories and one of the most respected coaching staffs in football, players notice. Guys around the league want to play for this organization. They want to be part of that locker room culture, part of that energy. You've got Jeffrey Lurie setting the tone as an owner who's willing to invest in success, Howie Roseman pulling strings like a chess master, and Nick Sirianni keeping the locker room tight, hungry, and unified. That combination makes Philly a destination, not just a franchise. And you could see that clearly with Michael Carter. According to reports, he wanted this move so badly that he actually agreed to delete $5 million in guaranteed injury money from his 2026 contract just to make the trade happen. Think about that. A player giving up guaranteed cash because he wants to wear that Eagles jersey. That tells you everything about how the league views this team right now. Carter wanted to be an Eagle, and Howie, being Howie, saw an opportunity to add depth, experience, and flexibility in the secondary without giving up much at all. Michael Carter II is not just a random pickup. He's a guy who's been consistently solid for the Jets, mainly operating as a slot corner, and the numbers back that up. Over 85% of his career snaps have come in the slot. He's a quick, instinctive defensive back with a great feel for route development. He reads the quarterback well, reacts fast, and isn't afraid to step up and run defense. He's also known for his speed. That 4.36 40-yard dash during the pre-draft process is still eye-popping, and that's something Howie Roseman absolutely loves in his corners. Fast, reactive, and technically sound. Now, since entering the league as a 5th-round pick out of Duke back in 2021, Carter's been a pleasant surprise. He might not be a flashy name to casual fans, but people who follow the game closely know he's got real talent. He's played in over 60 games, started 25 of them, and consistently delivered in coverage. From the slot position, he's racked up solid numbers. Pass breakups every year, solid tackling, and the kind of football IQ that makes him valuable in a defense that demands communication and discipline. And the Eagles' scheme under Vic Fangio is built exactly on that. Smart defenders who can process quickly, diagnose plays, and make adjustments on the fly. When you look at what Philly's doing with their cornerback rotation, this trade starts to make even more sense. Cooper Dean has been moving around more, taking snaps on the outside this season. He's shown that versatility since his college days at Iowa. He can play anywhere in the secondary. But the Eagles don't have much proven depth inside at the nickel position. Bringing in Carter gives them that flexibility. He can step into that slot corner role immediately, or if the coaches decide to push Dean to the outside full-time, they've got someone who can anchor the inside without the defense missing a beat. And there's another layer to this too, familiarity. The Jets' former general manager, Joe Douglas, used to be part of the Eagles' front office. He and Howie Roseman go way back, and they've worked together for years. Word is Douglas had always been high on Carter since his draft process, and when the opportunity came, the Eagles didn't hesitate. That kind of inside connection, that background knowledge, is part of what makes the Eagles so effective in trades like this. They don't just grab players based on stats. They bring in guys they've already evaluated, already trust, and already know will fit their culture. Now, yes, Carter's had some injury issues, a concussion earlier this year, some bumps and bruises last season, but the Eagles have always been careful in managing players like that. And Howie made sure to adjust the contract details to keep it team-friendly. That's where he really shines. He finds those small details, those hidden clauses that make a trade beneficial for the organization. And that's exactly what happened here. Let's talk about his play style for a second, because if you've watched him with the Jets, you know what kind of player he is. He's not the biggest guy out there, around 5 feet 10 inches tall, 184 pounds, but he plays bigger than his size. He's aggressive at the point of attack, quick to close gaps, and smart enough to disguise coverage before the snap. From the slot, he's shown the ability to track both the receiver's movement and the quarterback's eyes at the same time. That's rare. It's what allows him to make those quick breaks on slant routes or anticipate crossers before the receiver even turns his head. And the timing of this move couldn't be better. The Eagles' secondary has been solid, but not perfect. They've been looking for ways to tighten up coverage across the middle of the field, especially against teams that love using quick routes in motion. Having someone like Carter, who can diagnose plays and close windows fast, gives the defense more options. And with Fangio's scheme emphasizing disguise and versatility, this is a great fit. There's also that leadership factor. Even though he's still young, Carter's played in enough games to bring experience and maturity to a locker room that already thrives on accountability. He's been through the grind, he's faced adversity, and now he's landing in a place where he can grow surrounded by top-tier coaching and elite teammates. You give a player like that a fresh start in Philly in that environment, and it can reignite their career. We've seen it happen before. A change of scenery can turn a solid player into a difference maker, especially when that player has the right mindset. And the Eagles? They're not just collecting talent. They're building depth with purpose. Because let's be honest, if you want to repeat as champions in this league, you can't just rely on your starters. You need reliable backups who can step up at any moment. This move adds exactly that. Depth, versatility, and insurance in one deal. So while some people might look at this trade and shrug, Eagles fans know better. This isn't a throwaway move. This is Howie Roseman doing what he does best, identifying a need before it becomes a problem, adding a proven player on a great contract, and doing it all without losing anything significant. John Mechie had talent, but he wasn't contributing much this season. Trading him for a player who can potentially start or provide key rotational snaps on defense is a massive win. And that's what separates this team from the rest. The Eagles don't just play to win games. They play to sustain dominance. Moves like this, these calculated roster decisions, are how dynasties are built in the modern NFL. When you see a player like Michael Carter willing to give up guaranteed money just to be part of that, it tells you everything you need to know about the standard that Philadelphia has set. And now that the Eagles have Carter in the building, the next big question becomes how exactly he fits into this defense moving forward. Vic Fangio's system is all about discipline, timing, and disguise. It's not a defense that relies on blitzing heavy or leaving guys out on islands every snap. Instead, it demands corners who can read situations quickly, understand leverage, and communicate. Carter has all those traits. He spent most of his career working inside, handling shifty slot receivers and tight ends, which means he's constantly in motion, reacting to pick plays, rub routes, and quick slants. That's exactly the kind of defender Fangio loves: instinctive, versatile, and comfortable in chaos. If you look at how the Eagles' defensive back group has evolved over the last couple of seasons, this move also feels like a logical continuation of their philosophy. They've always valued hybrid players. Think about it. Cooper Dean can play outside, in the slot, even at safety if needed. Quinn Mitchell, their young first-rounder, has insane ball skills and range. Add Carter to that mix, and suddenly the Eagles have 3 corners who can rotate depending on matchups, keeping opposing offenses guessing. Fangio's comment earlier this week hinted at that flexibility, saying they've considered giving Dean more permanent snaps outside. Now, with Carter here, that's entirely possible. What I find fascinating is that this isn't just a move for today. It's one for the future. Carter is under contract through 2027. He's still in his mid-20s, and the Eagles are getting him on a very manageable deal. That kind of cap control is gold in the modern NFL. Howie Roseman has built his reputation on understanding value, both in dollars and in roster construction. He knows when to pay stars and when to find hidden gems who fit the system. Carter might not have huge Pro Bowl stats yet, but the skill set is there. You put him in the right environment, give him good coaching, and watch him take off. The other layer to this trade is what it says about John Mechie's future. This was a player with tons of potential coming out of Alabama, but unfortunately, injuries and health setbacks really slowed down his development. He's shown flashes, but on a team like the Eagles, with so many mouths to feed, there just wasn't room for him to make an impact. A.J. Brown is still the alpha. Devonta Smith is having his best season yet. Dallas Goedert remains one of the league's most reliable tight ends. And now, with Saquon Barkley being used more in the passing game, there are simply not enough targets left for Mechie to carve out a role. This move gives him a fresh start somewhere else while allowing the Eagles to strengthen their defense. It's mutually beneficial. Another aspect worth noting is the mental toughness factor. Players who join Philly have to buy into a certain mentality. This is a locker room that expects excellence every single day. You don't survive here if you can't handle pressure, and Carter's decision to restructure his contract just to get this trade done tells you he's ready for it. That's a player who's betting on himself, confident that being part of this system will make him better. You can't fake that kind of commitment. From a schemata point of view, I think Fangio is going to have a lot of fun with this new addition. Carter's ability to blitz from the slot adds another wrinkle to their defense. He's quick off the edge, and he's a surprisingly strong tackler for his size. The Eagles love using that big nickel package, where they bring an extra defensive back in the box to help against the run while disguising coverage. Carter fits that role perfectly. He can drop back in zone, track the running back on swing passes, or shoot through a gap and blow up a play in the backfield. He's that kind of chess piece who gives Fangio more options to adjust mid-game. It also can't be overstated how important this timing is. The Eagles are gearing up for a brutal stretch in their schedule. Having extra depth in the secondary is crucial, especially when you're facing elite quarterbacks and explosive offenses. One injury can change everything, and now Philly has a safety net. You don't want to be scrambling to sign someone off the street in December when you can make a move like this in October and let the guys settle in. It's proactive roster management at its best. And let's be honest, this is vintage Howie Roseman. He never sits still. Even when the roster looks set, he's scanning the league, looking for value, thinking about chemistry and fit. It's what keeps the Eagles consistently competitive. Other teams talk about all-in windows. The Eagles live in that window year-round because they're always reloading, never rebuilding. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill is already heating up after Kendrick Bourne confirmed his arrival at the Philadelphia Eagles, sending waves of excitement and speculation through the fan base. Known for his clutch plays and reliable hands, Bourne's move to the Eagles could signal a significant shakeup in the team's offensive strategy, and insiders are already buzzing about what this means for quarterback dynamics and the receiving core. Sources close to the team hint that Bourne's signing was less about filling a statistical void and more about injecting veteran savvy into a squad that has flirted with inconsistency in recent seasons. While the Eagles have boasted a talented receiving lineup, the addition of Bourne could add the kind of mid-range threat and red zone reliability that has been lacking in crucial moments. Industry analysts are already speculating that this move could position the Eagles as a dark horse contender, especially if Bourne quickly finds chemistry with the offense. The timing of the announcement has also fueled speculation. Bourne's confirmation came amid whispers of potential trades and contract reshuffles, suggesting the Eagles may be quietly restructuring to create a more aggressive and adaptable offensive unit. Fans on social media have erupted with theories, ranging from the possibility of him becoming the go-to target in critical game situations to predictions of record-breaking plays in the upcoming season. What makes this rumor particularly tantalizing is Bourne's reputation for stepping up in high-pressure moments. His knack for clutch receptions and situational awareness could complement Philadelphia's already explosive offensive weapons, creating a blend of reliability and surprise that keeps opposing defenses on edge. Coaches and insiders are reportedly thrilled with the signing, viewing Bourne as a player who not only brings production, but also a locker room presence that can elevate younger talents. While official statements from the Eagles management have remained cautiously optimistic, the buzz surrounding Bourne's arrival is undeniable. Sports analysts are already drawing comparisons to past offseason acquisitions that transformed team dynamics overnight. As training camp approaches, all eyes will be on Bourne to see if the hype translates into tangible impact on the field and whether the Eagles' offense will truly become the juggernaut fans hope for. In Philadelphia, whispers have a way of turning into headlines, and Bourne's confirmation has all the makings of a storyline that could dominate sports talk for weeks. Whether this move becomes a masterstroke or just another off-season gamble, one thing is clear. The Eagles fans are wide awake and ready for every electrifying moment that KENDRICK Bourne might bring to Lincoln Financial Field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.